Our planet was created with everything that we need to survive on it. And we as man turned food into a business that's leaving children without high quality food.
We don't want to support the big chains that are demanding that people grow mass amounts of the same exact food just to ship it across vast distances.
Our society is eating rotten food practically. And so we need to be asking ourselves, what are the implications of this and how do we change this?
There's a solution, and the solution is a self-directed community food system where everyone's involved and everyone is educated in some sense in agriculture.
Providing communities with a self-directed food system allow people to become personally in control of where their food's coming from and how they're obtaining it.
The community needs something like this, especially the town of New Melle that doesn't have a grocery store where people are having to drive 10+ miles into town to go to some big cold box store. But it's surrounded by quite a few farms that are producing food, produce, milk, meat, eggs, the staples that people need. When you source food locally, your food does not degrade in quality. It comes from people that actually care about what they're growing and people who are intentionally growing food for the support of the community.
We are the first private food co-op in the state of Missouri. A co-op is, in literal terms, any organization that is owned and operated by its members. So we've taken that cooperative model and expanded it, however, to more fully embody the spirit of community cooperation. The integration of gardens, orchards, educational classes on life skills and how to use food, how to be sustainable and resilient, combined with an accessible storefront, a place that everybody can go to and meet.
This is a place where people can gather, where people can communicate, and people can connect.
Food is a vector for the revival of communities. Henry Kissinger said that he who controls your food controls you. If we actually ponder and think about where our food's coming from, most of us can't honestly answer that question. When we understand where our food comes from, we understand the need to preserve the land and preserve the ecology.
We do have a standard of goods and growers. It's not just like any farmer can join the co-op.
Our farmers are the living remnants of an era where man was not disconnected from the basic order of life. It's so important that these farmers and their stories be told.
Welcome to Lucky Dog Farm. We are a regenerative farm here in Wentzville. Our main purpose is to support our ultra-local community in giving them the healthiest foods to provide their family on their dinner tables.
We're really just like a commercial homestead. We're doing most of the things that you would be doing as a homesteader, just for your family, but also trying to do that on a scale where we can produce a lot for our local community.
We have a mission of creating community around health and wellness here on our farm, whether it be through our food that we're sending home with our families or educational events that we're hosting here on our farm, tours of the farm where families can come around and actually see where their food is grown.
What I want to present to the community, I want it to be the best looking, best tasting produce that we can put out there. So I have a very high standard.
On Lucky Dog Farm, we've got organic produce. I like to say better than organic. One, because it includes sustainability. You can have organic produce, but still create tons of plastic for the landfill. You can still use fertilizers and chemicals that are considered organic, but are still killing the bees. Regenerative farming is really regenerating the earth. So we're never stealing or leaving the earth more depleted from growing a crop or raising an animal than it was before we started.
You've got pigs and chickens and 2 kids and dogs and cats. We're part of the High School Sweethearts Club. We've been together for 22 years. We both had corporate careers and nice house and nice cars and no kids for a long time.
And yet there was this string that kept pulling us back to a different lifestyle.
We became aware of the problems with our food system and we wanted to start eating healthier. We just decided that we wanted something more fulfilling with life. I've always felt like once I started farming that was all I was ever going to do.
We moved onto our new farm here. That's now our homestead that we're living here now with our 2 kids.
This is our 6th growing season. As of this year, we've got the whole place under production.
Our website is called Growing Home and Farm. Growing home really to me meant growing home back to my roots. Both of my grandparents had 11 children, so they had to work really hard on their farms and homesteads to provide for their family. But those methods that they did of canning and food preservation and all of the homesteading pieces that went into their puzzle were always such a desire to me. It was these pieces that we started to put together as these building blocks of our homestead and our farm here. And he said to me one day, your grandmothers would be proud. You're out here in this farm stand that was made from their hard work, and you're sharing health and wellness, and you're sharing your produce just as they were to their communities. And it's been so beautiful, and sometimes I have to remember that. When times get tough and days are really hard, like my grandmothers did this.
I grew up in a household where vegetables came out of cans and salads came out of bags. I didn't have even a good quality vegetable till I was in college. I just wasn't really exposed to it. Working on the first farm I was at really changed my perspective of, what is quality food and how do we nourish people. It completed the picture for me because that farm had a CSA program. Everyone came and picked up. There were, on-farm dinners and farm parties. It was a vibrant community and it felt really good to be a part of it. My name is Erin Cuzio. I was born and raised in Washington State, and that's where I first got into farming. I went to school for biology and was drawn to farming when I was pregnant with my first child, who is now 12. I was afraid because I didn't really know what I could do as a parent that was the correct way to do anything. There's so many books, there's so much advice, and I knew that the one thing I could do right was put good quality, clean food in front of my child. So that's what led me into farming, and from the first week on the farm, I knew, I could sense this is it, this is my future.
My name is Jose Miranda. I grew up in Venezuela in a water buffalo ranch, and growing up around these animals is what inspired me and motivated me to study animal and range science. Worked in Colorado the last 7 years on a Black Angus operation and realized that I was really missing the interaction with these magnificent animals. So I started a small water buffalo herd for the purpose of dairy production, and we just relocated outside Augusta, Missouri. We landed in Augusta just by the strike of luck. We got offered a property to lease, an actual managing job in an existing garden operations. So this opportunity in Missouri allowed us to integrate the livestock with the vegetable productions in ways that we hadn't been able to before.
We are here at Winslow's farm. We grow everything organically here. We use all regenerative methods. So we use cover cropping, compost tea, and we are trying to focus more of our nutrient sourcing to sort of hyper-local sourcing. We have the pigs here, we have chickens here, we have the water buffalo. Everything serves a purpose. All of the plant waste, vegetable waste, dairy waste. I didn't get into animal husbandry until I met Jose in 2018. I was kind of taken aback by the water buffalo because it's, not something you see every day. I fell in love with them pretty quickly.
Out of all the farm animals, I found the water buffalo to be one of the few animals that can actually reciprocate the attention that they get. I think of them more of a cow, but with the brain of a horse. They're extremely smart, they're a lot easier to handle, and this allows me to run an operation where I don't have to rely on horses or a large amount of employees just to move the animals. I take a different approach to moving the animals. Instead of pushing them to where I want them to go, I call them to when I want them to come. Our model of running a dairy herd is based upon the premises of not jeopardizing the nutrition of the calf. So we allow the calf to spend all day with their mother out in the field. That way they learn how to be a water buffalo. We separate them at night. In the morning, I get them out, milk one side of the cow's 2 teats, and allow the calf to drink 2 teats on the other side. and then spends all day with the mom. So that way we only take 20 to 25% of the meal.
Look at how happy they are. Food co-ops play a very important role in smaller, localized, more resilient food systems because it creates a more democratic relationship that is more fair to producers as well as consumers, so that consumers can source local, nutrient-dense food at a reasonable price that ensures those producers make the money they need to make to continue producing.
Supporting these farms like Winslow's and Lucky Dog and other smaller regional farms, you are supporting the health of the community.
I think the beauty of this co-op is that it really is the communities, and it puts the power back into the people. Our food is the absolute critical starting place, because if we don't have control of that, then we don't have control of the substance that's nourishing us and keeping us alive.
It's an all-around support for the community, the ecosystem, and the people that grow our food.
Right now, this entire area, the Boone Township, New Melle, Augusta, Defiance, we are at a crossroads. On the one side, we've got an agriculturally diverse, historically rich area full of amazing wildlife, untouched, untainted wilderness. And on the other hand, we've got concrete subdivisions in quote-unquote progress, and they're meeting right here and right now. This area has an opportunity to become something more, to become an example of what community can be like, of what high-quality food can be like, of what self-directed community systems can be like. And it's now. It's not in 5 years, it's not in 10 years, and it's not up to another politician or another businessman and the false hope that we put in them to do it. It's up to you. It's up to you listening and watching right now to make a difference, to make an impact. Every choice that you make matters. Where you spend your dollar matters. How you get your food matters. The time is now. Make your choice.
Far away, far beyond the limits, every day, it feels like coming home. I believe in your soul. I know we need each other. I know our love is strong. We're still riding down this road. Ooh, my love, I can feel you in my bones. This is real. I hear your voice too close. Oh, this feeling grows while I'm filling up this void. Far away.